So this is actually Tynwald Day, Sunday, but of course the event itself gets moved on to Monday. But with me, HM Soul, as that's to be called, is here, and I came here yesterday because you remember setting up behind us, Manana, and all that sort of thing.
Yes.
And we can run those shots in just a moment. It's a bit soggy and day, but anyway, it didn't happen. Things are running late. This is, by the way, an alternative Tynwald Day or something, is it?
Absolutely. So we were made aware quite early on that the Isle of Man government was not going to allow for individuals to assemble due to the COVID-19 lockdown measures. And so as a response to them lifting a lot of those measures, we then wanted to ensure that people were still able to commune and congregate for Tynwald Day. We had actually organized this beautiful 30-foot statue of Manannan to be erected right behind me for yesterday. And we were actually denied and actually a bit harassed and bullied by members in Tynwald. So you had the president of Tynwald as well as other key officials that did not want this going up.
Yeah. You had that first hand. I mean, is that word you heard? I mean, let's be clear before anything goes on here.
Yeah.
People try to stop you.
Yeah. So at the very high level, so the clerk's office, right, in particular, was actually in a dispute with the commissioners here about who actually owned this plot of land. Right. And this has actually been common land since time immemorial. So we found ourselves in a bit of a situation where we didn't want to disrespect the festivities that would be happening tomorrow, which is not technically our real Tynwald Day, but we wanted to actually have a Tynwald Day that celebrated the people and that honored the guardian spirit of this island, Manannan. And so we didn't understand why there was a problem with erecting the statue.
And these shots were yesterday. The police were here yesterday. The police are in fact right behind us right now. Are you feeling a bit harassed here?
Oh, no, I don't feel harassed at all by the police. It's actually been they've been very, very supportive. And they've actually looked at the situation now as a civic dispute between the commissioners and the government. Yes.
So what's going to happen? You've got various different groups. I know you're all over social media trying to get people to come out to an event, which would have been today, but now you are moving it till tomorrow.
That's right. So tomorrow what we actually will be doing is we'll be speaking about the Isle of Man's sovereignty. We wanted a day where people would be able to hand in dolients, and I'll be here under the Manannan statue to receive the doliences of individuals that have problems or challenges that are facing the island right now. There are so many different cases, a myriad of problems that the Isle of Man government with respect to various different populations has performed undemocratically or unjustly. And so we want to ensure that each and every voice is heard, and we're here to be of support to that.
Something tells me you'll be in full regalia tomorrow.
Maybe. Let's see what we wear.
There is obviously much more to this than being jolly about it, because you want your right to do what you want to do. Is that what this comes down to?
That's correct. I feel that one of the biggest issues as well was the fact that I was running for the Douglas by-election that was supposed to be held before the COVID-19 lockdown measures actually occurred. But even that democratic process seems that it's been subverted a bit, and I'm still asking the questions out of our MHKs as well, why that's still being postponed. And I'm very concerned. I really am concerned about the democratic elected process here. There's evidence of candidate suppression on the Isle of Man. There's elements of people not having the access to really run and feel the confidence there. I've also been threatened, by members of the public. I've been spoken about within the chambers of Tynwald in a derogatory fashion. This is something that has to be raised up, and that's why I'm raising up the Manannan statue, to put this House of Keys in remembrance of how they should react and respond to the people of this island, and that they have a voice.
We have another conversation by the sounds of this, because
Absolutely.
Black Lives Matter, we didn't hear much of that. The business on the radio business, you kept quiet, really?
I did, because I do believe that these issues are much bigger than just one situation. If you look at the Black Lives Matter movement, I kind of see it as the tip of a spear that actually drew blood out of the institutions. People are fed up. They're tired of not being listened to, not being heard from, and the Isle of Man has been run like a poor little village instead of the mighty kingdom that it used to be. And that's essentially what I'm fighting for, why so many people will be gathered here today. Like I said, there's a plethora of issues, from the environment to anti-5G to people that have autism. It's a whole spectrum of issues, and they need to know that Manannan is still here to listen to them.
Okay, well, it's going up, and they're fighting the wind a bit, to say the least. I think we've got sunny weather. Still, it keeps changing, but looking not too bad tomorrow. What time is your event taking place?
So our event will be here at the same time that Tynwald Day will start, so commencing around 10. So
will you be waiting for them to finish for you to do your thing, or are you both going on at the same time?
We shall see. We have like a demographic of individuals that will be coming in from so many different factions. Our job here mostly is to make sure that it's peaceful and that it's kind and that people are all heard. So we kind of have this unique situation now where we're more or less bringing all of these separate groups together, and they're standing together for the first time in protest against what I believe is a bit of a challenging situation.
And I think going way back in history, it was that point when people could do what they wanted to do, and it wasn't necessarily as organised and as sort of, I don't know, just mainstream as it is probably as it is these days.
Yeah, and it's one of these situations where yesterday, with trying to even get the statue up, I do believe that it was a bit of a startling situation because we did not want to offend anyone. So, like I said, I have no problem with the Council of Ministers in this particular fashion. I have no problem with Tynwald. But they have to listen to the people and give them opportunities such as this in order for them to speak. So, with all due respect to the various different offices that were counter this actually occurring, it's time to listen to the people.